the story goes, little hope but bigger dreams. They try to bring a sucker down, singing louder than the crowd. Listen the rhythm, I'm feeling brand.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm doing a speed clean of my entire apartment. I decided to bring y'all along with me. Everything had gotten out of hand, and I actually had a friend who needed to stay with us this night, so I just wanted to make sure everything was tidied up. And I'm going to start out by taking the sheets off of our bed because it was time for a wash, and then I'm going to move on to the rest of our apartment. Later on in this video, I'm going to be making Cajun pasta for dinner, and it was so delicious, so stay tuned for that. And I hope y'all enjoy and get tons of cleaning motivation today. Subscribe if you are new, and let's get busy. Once I got the sheets in the washer, I needed to Windex all of the mirrors in our bedroom and vacuum up these floors, and then I'm going to move on into the kitchen. My husband gave me these flowers for our 2-year anniversary, and I kept them alive for over a month, so I was so proud of myself, but it was time to say goodbye. They were shedding everywhere and making a huge mess, so I'm just going to take care of that before I move on to clearing off the rest of this bar top and then wiping it down with, of course, the Honeysuckle Mrs. Meyer spray. Okay, so I had several things that I wanted to get done in the kitchen today, and one of those things was to wipe down this fridge. Started noticing that it was getting really messy, so I just went ahead and grabbed that same wet cloth and wiped it down really well. And then I'm going to move on to my Keurig because that was getting tons of coffee splatters all over it, and I wanted to make sure that was good and clean. And also my stovetop today was so bad. We had cooked something greasy, I think it was hamburgers and french fries the night before, and it was just covered in grease. So I went ahead and grabbed an SOS pad and scrubbed that down really well, and then later on I'm going to be cooking Cajun chicken pasta in there, and I did not want to try to cook in a messy kitchen. That is the worst. And now I'm moving on to the microwave. I just wanted to spray down the outside and the door on the inside. The inside of the microwave wasn't too bad. I didn't have any splatters or anything like that, but I just wanted to make sure it was nice and shined up. And now I'm going to go ahead and pull up this stovetop and clean underneath with an SOS pad. And it's actually funny because in one of my previous videos, a lady had commented and said, when you're cleaning your stovetop, do you ever lift that thing up and clean underneath? And I completely forgot about this feature until she said that. So thank you to whoever that was. I can't remember who it was now, but if you are watching this, thank you. That made me feel so much better to have that done. Once I got the stovetop all cleaned off, I went ahead and took all of those burner rings over to the sink to scrub them out with an SOS pad before putting them all back in.
I have seen that face more than a million times, like a million times. I have seen that, baby. I can treat you right.
If you are new to my channel today, I just wanted to say welcome and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I make lots of videos about cleaning, home decor, organization, and all things homemaking, so if that is something you are interested in, make sure you hit that red subscribe button down below and then select all so that you're notified when I upload a new video. I upload every single Wednesday and Saturday, and I would absolutely love to have you.
That I can be the one, if that is what I want. Your days are gone, you've had your little fun. And now I'll make your dreams come true, if that is what I want to do with you. I'm only here for the little fun, here for what dreams are made of. I'm only here for the little fun. Oh, yeah, I can be the one, if that is what I want. Your days are gone, you've had your little fun, your little fun. You think you're the coolest by a million miles, baddest boy in town, but you know what, baby?
Once I got the stove all put back together, I did have a huge load of dishes to throw in the dishwasher, but my dishwasher was actually still running with the load prior to that, so I went ahead and took a minute to go into the living room and straighten things up, fluff up the couches and vacuum, and then in just a second I'm going to head back into the kitchen to finish up those dishes.
I've seen that face more than a million times. Think I know by now that I can be the one, if that is what I want.
Whenever I have guests over to my house, I like to make sure my couches are all fluffed and my Keurig is clean just in case they want a cup of coffee. I like to think about all the things that they're going to use. So like the bathroom, the Keurig, possibly the microwave if they need to heat something up. All of these spots are places that you don't normally think about when people come over, but then when they need to use it and it's a mess, you're totally embarrassed. So whenever I was going around speed cleaning today before they got here, I wanted to make sure that all of the places that I thought they might use were clean.
Little fun, you've had your little fun, and when the day is done, I might as well have little fun, little fun.
Alright, now that the living room is tidied up, I'm going to move back into the kitchen real quick and finish loading this dishwasher. I had already unloaded it before I started filming here, and then once I get this all loaded, I'm going to start in on the Cajun chicken pasta.
Wishing I could read your mind, but I'm ready. Yeah, never ready. I wish I could have made it stop. The first time that you stood me up, I wasn't ready. Yeah, never ready. Like a forbidden fruit, I'm still craving for. I'm still wanting more. Yeah, I know just what to do, but still I want all of you. Oh please, just give my heart a break. It's more than I can take. First you say you love me and you promise you will change. Suddenly you're gone, always on the run, playing with my feelings.
Comment down below if you're like me and you're one of those people who does not like to cook in a messy kitchen. I know some people don't care and they'll just get in there and cook whenever, but for some reason I am so unmotivated to cook a meal when my kitchen is filthy. So I just wanted to get this all tidied up and vacuum up the floors, and then we're going to get in there and make that pasta.
Just for fun. Hey.
Okay, so for dinner I'm going to make Cajun chicken pasta. So I picked up a rotisserie chicken from Walmart and I'm going to shred that. Some grated Parmesan cheese, some fresh basil, some green onion, heavy whipping cream, just 1 cup of that, garlic powder, rotini noodles, Cajun seasoning, and we actually got this straight from Louisiana, Steamboat Bills. That stuff is so good. And then we're going to use whole milk. So let's get started.
First you say you love me and you promise you will change. Suddenly you're gone.
And to go with the Cajun chicken pasta today, I just wanted to make some roasted broccoli. So I'm going to chop up a couple heads of broccoli and smother that in olive oil and salt and pepper, and I'm just going to bake that at 425 for about 15 minutes. And believe it or not, this takes longer than the actual pasta, so that's why I started that first. And then I also grabbed a loaf of garlic bread from Walmart that I'm going to throw in the oven later to go with all of this as well. Alright, moving on to the pasta. So I'm just going to start out by chopping up a handful of basil, fresh basil from the produce department at Walmart, and then I'm going to chop up a couple sticks of green onion, and then I'm going to go ahead and get that pasta going and then shred the rotisserie chicken. Alright, if y'all have watched any of my previous videos, you know I'm a huge Pinterest cooker. This is where I get all of my recipes, and this once again is a Pinterest recipe. It's called Creamy Cajun Chicken Pasta, and in the recipe it actually calls for you to grab up all of this rotisserie chicken that's shredded and put it in a Ziploc baggie with some Cajun seasoning. But for me, I just put it on a plate and sprinkled a Cajun seasoning on top and then just mixed it in really well, and this worked perfectly fine.
You know how much I hate sleeping alone. I can never make it on my own. Tell me what I'm gonna do.
Once I drain my pasta, I just like to add a little bit of olive oil so they don't stick together. And then in the pot where I made my pasta, I'm going to add a cup of milk and a cup of heavy cream. And then I'm just going to add in the chopped scallions, the basil, the salt, the garlic powder, the pepper. And then I'm going to let it reach a boil. And I'm going to have this recipe linked below so that y'all can know all of the exact measurements.
Let go of the days I wish we had. Stop crying over things I can't take back.
Once all of that comes to a boil, I'm just going to add back in the rotini pasta as well as the rotisserie chicken and a half cup of Parmesan cheese, and then I'm just going to stir that until it gets thick. And then once it reaches the desired thickness that you want, you can add in more Cajun seasoning, and the more Cajun seasoning the better. This stuff, I don't know what it is, but it does not season like it's supposed to unless you use a ton of it, so that's why you see me pouring so much of it in there. And then once you stir that all up, it's completely finished. Alright, here is the end product. This was seriously so delicious. Highly recommend this recipe if you love spicy Cajun food. After dinner, I was in a huge hurry to get everything finished up, so I went ahead and went back into the bathroom, sprayed down the countertop with some scrubbing bubbles and wiped that down, and then used my Clorox wand to clean out the toilet before moving on.
Let's go to work, 'cause I'm tripping. Gotta work on myself, 'cause I'm falling apart. Please wake me up, 'cause I'm slipping. Can't fight this feeling off no more. But I'm not going to give up and fall. Rise above the door, meet all my challenges and search for my strength. I defeat them all. I'm never ever gonna hide no more. I come to love myself again. Yeah. For all the things I didn't know, the pain, the hurt, I let it go. Start to believe in myself, and life will be sweet again. So sweet again.
Okay, now that the bathroom is done, I'm moving back into the bedroom to put all of the sheets back on the bed before folding a million loads of laundry, and then we will be done.
Above it all, meet all my challenges and search for my
I had let my laundry pile up all week long and it was overflowing everywhere, so I had to get this taken care of. I believe this was like 5 loads, and I even folded some before I started recording here, so a crazy amount of laundry. But once this was done, my entire apartment was super clean and I was completely ready for company. I hope y'all enjoyed today's speed clean with me. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed today and subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see y'all in my next video on Wednesday.
This is as good a day as any to start the rubbish.